So we'll dive into a little bit more. Let's go defense first. Again, and I guess this will be number 2. So let me just be honest with y'all and transparent. Like, I was not gonna like even gas Frankie up this week because initially, like, until I looked at the stats, like there were a lot of plays that he missed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, though he did lead the team with 12, he could have had like 16 or 17. And a couple of those came in big moments. But he also came up big with a couple sacks as well and key moments. I'm just going to re-emphasize the point that defensively, when he's playing good, I mean, and though I know you're going to say that I'm dick riding or whatever, defensively, when Frankie is playing good, our unit looks completely different. Is that a fact, yes or no?
I mean, yeah, I agree to some extent.
Okay, to what extent do you agree?
Like, I won't say you're completely wrong, no, but, I mean, I don't think it's just on one person. Like, when he plays good and everybody else play good, I don't think he's to the point where the team is following him around as like, oh, we need you to get it started. Like, I mean, unfortunately, there's times that he has to do that because you got people like Shaq Thompson who's supposed to be the leader who don't be really doing shit. So, but no, I don't fully agree with it, but I can see where you can get that from.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
Because
we can disagree. I just want to understand your logic because, like, this when I say this shit, it comes off of him having a big game, and then him having a big game makes our defense look that much more cut every single time. And when he's nowhere to be found, like the Cincinnati game, missing tackles, overrunning shit, misreading his keys, we get fucking dicked.
I mean,
right? So it's just like, I don't understand like how this correlation is not like as obvious to me as obvious to you as it is to me.
I can't really boil it down to one person, honestly. Because when you say that, I look at it like, to me, Brian Burns is
stop.
Like, no, to me, he's the best defensive player we have. And
no.
Yes.
No.
And
Brian Burns isn't better than Derrick Brown.
Yes, he is. And he makes an impact. He makes an impact every game, even in those games that Frankie ain't nowhere to be fucking found. So, I mean, you can't just say, oh, they go as Frankie go. Because my nigga been having his hand in the dirt all year, getting after the quarterback. He just ain't had no fucking help.
I mean, I just don't agree. So now, from an organizational standpoint, this is where we have you. This is the value that we have you at. You're more valuable than 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. So,
I agree.
Yeah, okay. And though you may agree, though I may agree, you know what I'm saying? You have to show me. Because at this very moment, I don't agree. And I've said this for the past 2 weeks, ever since the details on the trade, allegedly came out.
So what?
He hasn't shown me shit.
So what are you expecting from him? Like,
I'm expecting you to take over a fucking game like Micah Parsons or TJ Watt.
Okay.
That's what I'm expecting because I'm not 100% actually, no, I won't say that. That was about to be preposterous. I was going to say I'm not 100% sure that Jerry Jones ain't making the deal to let Michael Parsons go for what we got offered. But I won't say that. I won't say that. But even in that same breath, like, that's a deal that I would expect being offered for Michael Parsons.
Well, I would say I don't know who TJ Watt has on the other side of him on the Steelers' defensive line.
Exactly. So your statement can stop right there.
No.
Because it don't matter. Because at the end of the day, TJ turned that bitch up by him damn self.
No, it do matter when you can just key in on one guy because ain't nobody else gonna really do shit. Ain't nobody else on the other side of the line can really hurt you. So, of course, their stats are going to look a little better because if, what's dude name? D-Law? Like, if you gotta be prepared for D-Law, then, I mean, Micah got plenty of opportunity to just tee off on you as well. So, I mean, like, we just don't have shit on the other side. So, it's just hard for Brian Burns' stats to look as good. But, I mean, shit, he got, 6.5 sacks?
That's bullshit. I mean, honestly, in all actuality, his stat numbers are mid. So this is why, again, like this is where good. I'm glad because now we can finally have like a debate between us because every time we always be agreeing on shit. So this is great for content purposes. I'm happy that this is happening. His stat numbers are bullshit. And the amount of money that we're about to have to pay him is going to be fucking astronomical because we already looked at the contracts the other day. Right? We already looked at the contracts the other day. And let's go step by step.
Okay, cool.
Let's go step by step. So they got TJ on one side. They have Larry, can't even pronounce his name on the other end.
Just because you can't pronounce his name, he ain't good. Okay, cool.
He's fucking mud, bro. He's fucking mud. I mean, listen, if you got a crazy ass name and I can't pronounce it, that means that you ain't on shit because I ain't hear your name enough. Because I know how to pronounce Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay, cool. So we going out.
So we on the same page.
We going off that logic. Cool.
Okay, we on the same, and they run the 3-4. Okay, cool. So Cameron Hayward, he's on one end. They got TJ as a linebacker. They got TJ listed as a linebacker, a wild linebacker.
He technically is, but they play a 3-4, so
it's different. So he's still like a DN, like per se.
Yeah.
Miles Jack. So okay, cool. I guess to a certain degree, yes. The fact that Brian Burns doesn't have quote unquote help is the reason why his stats don't necessarily produce what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I say that's facts. But go ahead.
But listen, if that's the case, that's fine. Like that shit is cute, nigga. That's cute. But if you're this valuable to my organization, show me. Cause he's not.
He tied for 7th in the lead in sacks. So
bro, but the thing about it is that shit don't mean nothing, bro. Cause 6 ain't nothing. Like 6 sacks ain't shit. That just means that the league is down this year in sacks, if you ask me.
7.
Okay, 7. So that just means that the league is down irregardless.
I just completely disagree, honestly. Because there, like I said earlier, there's games where the defense as a whole hasn't been on shit, but I'm seeing Brian Burns in that fucking backfield every play. Now, granted, and it's a lot of, and look, I already know what you about to say, because it's a lot of times that you like to get up there in that film room and really, because some days you have your days where you just want to focus on Brian Burns. And so it's like every time you don't see him in the backfield, you like, see, that's what I'm talking about. That nigga a bitch. And I'm like, bro. But he in the backfield every other play but this one play. Oh, and now we shouldn't pay him. Now the nigga a bitch. And
it's not that. I don't think he's a bitch. But he just don't turn that shit up the way Frank do. He don't, bro. He does not, bro. I'm telling you. Honestly, and this is me being dead ass serious. This is me being dead ass serious. The amount of money that we're about to pay Brian Burns is going to be us admitting, in my opinion, that Brian Burns is our best defensive player. Right? Based on the amount of money that we're about to pay him.
I agree.
Okay, cool. If I look at our team and the way that we play and the way that I've seen these guys play in years past, Derek Brown is better than Brian Burns. If we look at them right now, based on their productivity, Derek Brown is better than Brian Burns, yes or no? Based on productivity. Go ahead and lie. Go ahead and lie right to the camera. Go ahead and lie. Is Derek Brown better than Brian Burns right now?
I would say that he's playing better right now.
Okay, cool. Based on productivity and what we've seen, whether it be this year or years past, is Jeremy Chin better than Brian Burns? As a linebacker, because don't take safety Jeremy Chin and compare him to this Brian Burns that we're seeing right now. Take Jeremy Chin that is top tier.
I would say, you see, this is the thing, and this is what I was gonna say before you even got in, and that it's kind of hard to like judge it because it's like Brian Burns, his hands is in the dirt every play, and he's rushing the quarterback, and so it's like. He only has this little small shot of really getting his shit off.
Okay.
But you got linebackers like Frankie and like Jeremy Chin who can fly around and just knock a nigga shit loose. And I mean like, and so I feel like that's a lot of the times why you be on Frankie so much. It's because you see him when he go out there and just completely
and try and tent.
I
want to see you trying to tent.
Okay, but Brian Burns, he only got the opportunity to tent maybe one or two niggas.
That's not true.
With Frankie, he got an opportunity to tent a receiver, a running back coming out the backfield, the quarterback, the tight end, and so I mean it's different. That's why like you don't really see Brian Burns like really getting his shit off on somebody.
Is Brian Burns on the same level as TJ Watt? Yes or no?
I wouldn't go that far.
Is Brian Burns on the same level as Michael Parsons? Yes or no?
No.
Is Brian Burns on the same level as JJ Watt any of the 6 years that he dominated the league?
No.
Okay, cool.
But
so the amount of not to count a nigga's pockets. The amount of money we're about to pay him is going to be way too much. Yes or no?
I don't know what the amount would be. Like nigga, I feel like
we looked at the contracts the other day and we understand that he's going to be number 3 or number 4 on that list annually. We can pull it up.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, if you're using that in the argument for your argument with Frankie, I can give you plenty of niggas that he not on their level.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. And this is not the Frankie Louvu show. This is not the Frankie Louvu show at all. But I'm just telling you that what I understand is that the amount of money that we're about to pay Brian Burns and the amount of draft capital we gave or we allowed to get escape our grasp, I don't know if I agree with it. Okay, Myles Garrett gets 25 a year. Okay, so that's number one. Max Crosby gets 23 and a half. Leonard Williams gets 21. And Von Miller gets 20. And Cam Jordan is at number 5 at 17 and a half. So is it fair to assume, based on the amount of draft capital we allow escape us, is it fair to assume that he will be paid anywhere between $20 and $25 million a year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And again, I'm going to ask you, is he worth that amount of money?
And this is the answer I'm going to give you. Ship him off and see. Ship him off and see what the defense look like. Let him walk.
Okay. I mean,
let him walk and see how obviously worse this team gets.
Only thing that I'm going to say is,
if he ain't shit.
I see. But see how you go to the extreme? I didn't say he wasn't shit. I just said that the way niggas try to gas him, I don't see it.
And you said based off what the picks that they were going to receive. But you also got to look into the details of those picks. And we agreed that those picks was completely ass. Even though they were first round picks, but they're next year. We don't need that. One was like
still getting a second this year.
One was, man, fuck that second.
And you were still getting a second this year, and you're still going to select top 10 no matter what.
The way our team looks, we need fuck the second this year. We need something. We need 2 of them things in the first. That's what we need. 2 of them in the first. But since you brought out your little list of DNs that Brian Burns is not better than.
Okay. And he's not a middle linebacker. So let's start there. He's not a middle linebacker.
Is he better than Devondre Campbell? I'm going to go ahead. I know that ain't.
Okay, next. No, he's not.
Is he better than Levante David?
No.
Cool. Is he better than... Does him and Roquan Smith play the same? Is he better than Roquan?
I haven't seen a large enough sample size, but I guess I'll say no for the time being.
Cool. Is he better than Darius Leonard or Shaq Leonard?
No, cool. Absolutely not.
Is he better than Michael Parsons?
Nigga, I mean...
Nigga, you should have just went here and said no. I don't even need to hear no answer.
Michael Parsons is a fucking DN, bro. He's a fucking hybrid. We can't even compare the two. But
you compared him with fucking Brian Burns.
Exactly. Yes, because he's a fucking hybrid that plays DN and D tackle more so than he plays linebacker.
He be at that linebacker position. He ain't better than Michael Parsons. So, I mean, I can say the same thing. And I could really name more, but
listen,
I don't.
You want me to tell you where the disconnect is, though, and where the problem is, and then we'll kind of get off this topic. But I've enjoyed this shit because this is the first time we've done this shit. I fuck with it. The disconnect is, I'm not saying, nor is Frankie Louvu getting paid like a top player. I'm not saying that Frankie Louvu is a all-time great. I've seen, bro, the thing about it is Frankie Louvu has played one season. He's played one season, right? Consistently with the Carolina Panthers this year, with the exception of obviously the games he missed this year due to injury. He's played one season consistently. And I've seen him take over. I've seen him take over 2 games. Brian Burns has played with us and consistently played for how long? 3 years, 4 years, because he's up for a contract now. Mm-hmm. And I've seen him take over how many games? 1 in 4 years, maybe.
I disagree with that. Like, my mind don't completely go, but I vividly remember him seeing take over more than 1 game.
I don't. And obviously, like, we're having to go off of, like, memory, like recent memory or whatever may have you, so that's kind of hard to do. But I've seen Frankie Louvu take over 2 games that I know for a fact.
Okay.
The game that we got clipped against Arizona, he had it turned up. The whole, everything turned up, yes or no?
Yeah, nah, he was live.
Okay, and then this past week, did he take that bitch over, yes or no? Against Atlanta.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
He led the team in sacks.
He led the team in sacks, but
he led the team with tie with Marquise Haynes. But Marquise Haynes shit came on the last drive.
I'm so glad you said that, bro. You just walked yourself right into it, bro.
Wow. Okay.
You don't even understand.
Let me hear it.
So
Why?
you asked me, did he take over the game? And I said, I don't know. What's the first thing you said? Well, he led the team in sacks. Yeah. So let me look at Brian Burns' log. Let me see how many games he had 2 or better sacks. And then I'll tell you how many games he took over.
Please do that.
Okay.
And after you do that, we're going to move on just for time's sake.
Okay.
But, yes, please do that. Please do that. Because I can go to TJ shit. Matter of fact, I can tell you damn near off my head that nigga has at least 7 of them bitches. But go ahead, do it. You know, tell me. Go look at his log.
And you said you only remember 1 game.
I only remember 1 game of him taking over, not 1 game of him having 2 sacks.
Well, you said Frankie quote unquote took over, and the first thing you said is he led the team in sacks.
Yes, he led the team in sacks.
So I'm taking
he led the team in tackles.
The first thing you said. That's the first thing you said. So I'm taking that as in your definition of him taking over. That's the first thing that came out of your mouth. He led the team in sacks.
Okay, he led the team in sacks. As a fucking linebacker at that.
So Brian Burns has took over 1 game this year. He had 2 sacks.
What game was that? If you don't mind me asking. I'm being dead ass serious. What game?
That was the game against the Giants. We lost, but I don't say that's necessarily because of defensive play.
No, I mean I can't remember the Giants game. No, nigga. Yes, it was because of defensive play. It was because of defensive play because we got ran through. Oh no. I'm capped. That game we locked Saquon down.
Yeah.
So it wasn't because of defensive play. We just had. I remember that shit. It was some bullshit.
So Brian Burns had 2 sacks against the Giants, and let me go to what year was that? I just seen the year where he had multiple games with 2 sacks. 2020, he had 2 sacks against Green Bay. He had 2 sacks against Detroit.
2020, he had 2 sacks against Green Bay.
Yep.
And did we win or lose that game?
We lost that game.
Okay.
He had 2 sacks against Detroit.
Another loss.
We shutting them out, 20-0.
What year was that? You said 2020?
Yeah, that was the same year, 2020. And so I would say based off of
wait. So 3 times in 4 years as a defensive end, yes or no? Just yes or no? Just yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I feel like he impacted the game in other areas, but that would take too long to break down. But I'm just saying, according to your statement, he led the team in sacks. Well, that's 3 games that Brian Burns took over, and you say you remember him only taking over 1 in 3 or 4 years.
Nigga. and just to wrap up, and I'll let you have your closing statement too. The amount of money that we're about to pay this nigga, and I don't even like I said, I don't like counting niggas' pockets because that shit lame. But in this profession, like based on, you know, the NFL and how cap space and everything like that works, I have to know what you making. I have to know what you making.
Yeah.
And you have to show me that you're worth that. Up until this point this season, Brian Burns has not showed me that.
Yeah.
And up until this point in the season, Frankie Louvu has been more of a valuable player than Brian Burns has. That's my God honest truth take. He has.
I disagree. And I'm gonna say because Frankie he missed 2 or 3 games. So for you to to be my best player on defense, I mean, damn, I at least need you to be fucking available. So
is this a narrative that we're about to paint right now? Is this a narrative that we're about to paint right now?
I'm just saying, I at least need you to be fucking available. And so, I just completely disagree. Because I think there's been plenty of games that Brian Burns has single-handedly been the best player on that defense and taking over a game. It's just stats might not always prove that point, but since that was the first number you named out, I had to use it. And so, I mean, but yeah, I disagree. I think that he is worth whatever we're going to pay him because he's a young player, so he doesn't have any, he's going to get better.
Frankie is young too, 26. So the only listen to me. In closing, the only thing that I ask is that if y'all give it, matter of fact, again, not to count pockets, but make sure Scott Fitter, Dave Tepper, whoever's going to be in the front office when the time comes in 2 years or in a year and a half, however long it's going to be, when the time comes, make sure that all that money y'all give Brian Burns, y'all got some of that shit left over for Frank too. Simple as that.
Just based off one season.
Nigga, you can base it off of whatever you want to base it off of. You can base it off of whatever you want to base it off of. I'm just telling you, when Frankie Louvu is locked in and he let his nuts hang, that defense play different. That's a fact. That is a fact. If you're a fan and you disagree, you're tripping. You're delusional. Just like this nigga. When Frankie Louvu is locked in, that defense play different. And we saw last week, again, when he's not, shit doesn't go the same. Simple.